Hello! In this video, we're going to take a look at how to schedule an AWS Lambda function. In this video, we're going to take a look at two AWS services, Lambda and Amazon EventBridge. The very first thing that we need to do in order to schedule a Lambda function is actually create it. So I'm in the AWS console and I'm going to click on Lambda. I am then going to create a function and I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to call this my scheduled function. You can choose any runtime that you want to use. I'm going to use Node.js. For the permissions, I'm going to have AWS create a new role for me with the basic Lambda permissions. I'm going to hit create function, and this will now create the Lambda function for us. Once this function has been created, you can see it's successfully created in my scheduled function. We can now change the code and then invoke it. Now, what we see when we have a Lambda function is that we have triggers and we have destinations. What we'll do in this case is we'll add a trigger through Amazon EventBridge, and that trigger will be a scheduled event. Now, I'm going to make a quick change to the code. I'm going to change the inline editor here. And I'm going to say, we're looking at this function run at. I'm just going to log the current date and time. We'll do a new date. And we're doing date.now. And that should log out our date and time. Cool. Let's hit save on the top. And that's all of the changes that I want to do. Actually, let's console.log the response as well. There we go. Hit save. And that's everything that we want to do in Lambda. Okay, this is a very simple function. We're now going to change services and we're going to Amazon EventBridge. And EventBridge is a tool that you can use, as it says here, connect your software as a service product and AWS with events. And the events that we're going to create is a scheduled event. So we're going to create a rule, going to give this a name. I'm going to call this my scheduled event. You can optionally give it a description. And then you have two options between an event pattern and a schedule. We're going to select schedule. And in here you have two options. You can either use a fixed rate where you basically this kind of human readable, where I'm going to select 1 minute. What that will do, it will run and execute the Lambda function every minute. Okay, this is the lowest you can get, minutes. We have hours, we have days, and you can change this, of course. You can also create your own cron expression. There are many resources on the internet that can help you with writing out the cron expression rather than having to write it yourself. But we're just going to use this fixed rate of every 1 minute. Going to scroll further, and we then need to select a target. And this target is going to be our Lambda function. So we're going to look for, first of all, the service, which is Lambda, and then the function, which is my scheduled function. We can then optionally enter a tag if we want to, and we're going to hit create now. Now, the moment you start hit create here, it will start and listen for these events. So now in about a minute, this will have run for the very first time. I'm going to run it a few times, so I'll get back to you and we'll see the results. Okay, I'm back and I've waited a few minutes. So let's take a look in CloudWatch and see if it has actually logged the date and time of when the events were scheduled. So we're going to services and go to CloudWatch. In CloudWatch, you can see the log groups for your Lambda functions. And we can see here we have our scheduled function. If we click on that, we can see if we now go into it, you can see it has logged quite a few times here now since I'm starting recording this. And then if we click on the actual one of the results, we can see that actually this has run, the function run at, and it logs out the time, and this time is different. Now, if we hop back into Lambda, we can see what has actually happened. because these functions of these AWS services all work together. Because if I now click on the Lambda function, we will see that it has now, previously we didn't have a trigger, and now we can see it has the EventBridge CloudWatch events logged here. Okay? So EventBridge is using, if you have used CloudWatch before, it is using CloudWatch Events API under the hood. Now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.